Okay, man. Starting out, man, main thing is you want to make sure that the client's skin is clean, free of debris. You want to make sure that you're combing through all of the client's hair before you start to cut anything. You want them to check and make sure that you don't have any bumps or moles or anything that, you know, the client may not even know that's there. So you can really see what's going on. And what this is doing is when you're combing through your client's hair, you're actually stimulating the roots of the hair as well as stimulating blood flow that will allow and promote good hair growth. You want to make sure that while cutting, the client is elevated to a correct height, so your posture is up straight, you're upright, and also making sure that your client is comfortable. And this process is all done before I even begin my client's consultation. All right, so back to making sure that the hair is combed in the proper direction, that the actual grain of the hair is growing. Another thing that I would like for barbers to keep in mind, that just as well as the hair on top of the head, it has a grain that the direction that the hair grows, so does the face. So these are things that you want to make sure that with a client that's growing a beard, you want to be able to see which direction that the hair is growing. Which is the reason why I use carbon combs as well as natural wood brushes, which wood is made from carbon, it comes from the earth. So that carbon comb made from plants or, you know, wood is gonna allow the hair to adhere to the comb and the teeth as well as your brush. So, you know, a lot of times you're using a comb and you're combing the hair, but the hair isn't going in the direction that you need the hair to go in. And that's because your comb is either made out of some type of polyurethane, some type of rubber. Those things aren't really natural. So it's not gonna, the hair is gonna work against you. So after that, I begin my client consultation. I like to stand behind the client, get your client to look directly in the mirror, and you ask them how they would like their hair groomed. So because today my model, I already know my model, I've been cutting my model for a good while. This is Lawrence Charles, AKA LB, Mr. Lobster Trapper 919. Y'all make sure y'all follow my man, it's my brother right here. So been cutting him for a while. Last year, actually had a good length of hair on the top. We decided to go really close with it. I've been shaving his hair for probably about 2 or 3 months now. I know his grain and how the hair on the head grows, as well as his beard. He doesn't have really too many crazy grain changes. You know, and starting out, when I'm taking a client from, you know, maybe a one with the grain or a wave cut and they decide that they want to wear a shaved head, I really go through a 2 or 3 month process to be able to see, you know, how that client's hair reacts to trimmers, also a razor or, you know, some type of shaving machine, just to see what their skin can take and what it can't. Which is the reason why, the purpose of, you know, me coming out with a product line, because a lot of times I struggle with finding a product that's really gonna work well the way that I like for it to work, as well as the Barber In Demand barber. So we really work hard on these products to make sure that, you know, it's something natural that, you know, has a light scent, it's not too heavy, it isn't gonna clog the skin, as well as things that are good preventatives for like razor bumps and, you know, things of that nature. So let's go ahead and get into it. So today I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna use trimmers on his head first, very lightly, because I know later on I'm gonna shave his skin, so I don't really want a lot of friction or excess strokes on the hair. You wanna make sure that every stroke is counting when you're gonna shave a client's head. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna use a lighter astringent on him with the Barber Strong Continue Mist sprayer. I wanna make sure that I saturate that. I'm gonna let that sit. I'm gonna come back with my brush. I'm gonna clean my brush first. Even though my brush has already been cleaned, I wanna come through and follow the grain of the hair with my brush. Even though he has, a short, the hair's already been cut down. But I wanna come in and very lightly, brush through the grain of his hair. And, that's kind of prepping for my trimmers to go through and cut the hair a little closer. Come in with a nice hot towel. Very light astringent. And I also use a lot of essential oils in my hot towels. And using your essential oils, you definitely want to make sure that you're using a product that is, less likely for that client, skin to break out. A lot of people are allergic to like tree nuts, pine nuts, things of that nature. So you really want to know that, your client isn't gonna have an allergic reaction, which that is one of the biggest purposes for client consultation. And I'm just gonna come in and with the grain, I'm gonna clean that skin up. I'm gonna open my towel, since I've already used that side, and go to a clean side for the face. And just take your time. You wanna make sure that you're not smothering your client and the towel is not too hot for the skin. And if at any time you're ever wondering, is my towel too hot? A good way to test that is like right in your wrist. Even with wearing my gloves, you can still test the temperature. You wanna make sure that you're buying a quality glove that isn't too thick, where you can actually tell the temperature and have, the good feel of, your blade, as well as, whatever towel or products that you're gonna use. Because you don't wanna use anything that's too heavy for your client and their skin. Shout out to Babyless. Shout out to Babyless for the little Bambino. Good things come in small packages. I like to use more of I like to use smaller tools because it's a lot more comfortable for my hand. I don't have a big hand, so, I like to use things that will prolong the life of, my hands and, my arms and things of that nature. So we're gonna go ahead and get to it. My blades have already been cleaned and prepped for this cut. And what you wanna make sure that you're going through, prepping and cleaning for every single step and every client that you use. You wanna make sure that you're cleaning all of your blades, that everything that you could possibly use on a service for that client is already in good preparation. So I'm coming in, I'm following the grain, just really making sure that everything is the same length. I don't really like to use a clipper for this step if the hair is already trimmed down to a certain length. I know sometimes it's, depending on the client's hair and the coarseness of their hair, you want to use maybe a clipper or a heavier duty blade to trim down the hair. I'm using my trimmer like a clipper right now because I want to be able to follow, every nook and cranny and crease of my client's scalp. And then also I can, better contour the pressure that I'm putting on my client's skin at that time. And it's a good time to pay attention to, different areas and, wrinkles, as well as, the different muscles in the client's head as well. And for my people that are gonna be using, your own trimmers or things like that at home, these are the same steps that you wanna follow. So if you are a person that, does like to shave their head, these are steps that you wanna go through at home as well. If you notice right there, I just let the chair down just a little bit so everything is, still at eye length for myself. So I can make sure that my client is comfortable and I'm comfortable as well. And we're almost done. And like I said, you just want to make sure that you're following your grain. For my clients at home that are gonna, go through some of these same steps, if you're comfortable with this, and I'm sure in time, just watching this video over and over again, you will learn. But an easier way at home, if you don't feel comfortable with using this technique, you can flip your trimmer over and use it in this manner. Okay, man, have a good day. But you want to make sure that that you're using the lightest touch possible, because you're gonna allow your razor to do a good majority of the work. And blade setting is really important in this. I wouldn't suggest using the sharpest pair of trimmers that you have, in which, as a barber, I try to make sure that, I have a good setting of my blades, just to make sure that I'm not causing any irritation or anything like that for my client. So after all of that is done, you want to clean your tools up and make sure that they're in good preparation for the next time. All right, so after this point right here, you can see on this side of the face, I've already, began to blend and, do every little part, the beginning part of, how I would, just groom the beard and, kind of keep it in tune. For people that, will be using the shave oil and stuff like that and shaving your own head and using the products at home, you want to make sure that you handle everything on the top. You want to get everything in order as far as your desired style of how you wear your hair. You want to make sure that all of these things are already done before you begin to shampoo and, go through all of your steps of trimming and, shaving your beard or, however you do it at home. So just right here on the other side, I've already began to actually trim the beard and blend those, hard lines out. You don't have to be too heavy with it. Make sure that, if you're gonna get a clipper and, do your own grooming or barbers, make sure you have a tool that is gonna allow you to get the desired style without you overworking the skin or the hair, irritating the client, or, being too aggressive, on the skin. Because you gotta remember, you're gonna go back and shave this client, you're gonna use hot towels, warm water, all of these things. So you wanna make sure that when you're at home or when you're in the barbershop, you wanna make sure that you're not over aggressive on the client's skin. So we're gonna get back to it right here. And this is just preparation. This is just preparation for, the shampoo, the beard wash. Just making sure that you are using your tools properly. I'm gonna go back with the Barber In Demand beard comb. This is a comb that I normally will actually cure the wood. This is a process that I will be offering within the next month or so. If you do decide to have your beard comb cured, in which curing is about a 30 to an hour process, in which I actually will soak the natural wood in a natural oil, and I will put it through the curing process, which is about 400 degrees. And that process takes about an hour and a half. You'll be able to get that on the online store. So, you know, what I'm gonna do is just follow through with the comb. And actually what I'm gonna come in today with is actually using my shears, my 10-inch shears, because I've already, you remember in the first part of the video, we've already come through with our beard rake and making sure that, you know, everything is uniform as far as the hair being picked out to its most extensive, you know, length, and making sure that all curls are out of the hair. So, you know, you definitely want to be soft in this area because, you know, you don't want to catch any curly hairs in this process. And this is a part within trimming, like you really want to make sure that you're following through with your consultation barbers. This is for the barbers. You want to make sure that you're following through in consultation with your client and making sure that you know exactly how your client wants their hair and their beard and their line and all of these things to look after the service is over. So because I know that my client would rather have, you know, a wider shape, you know, more uniform to the face, you're gonna see how I trim his beard today. And we've completely trimmed, we've completely combed out the beard in this process. So if you take a look right here, you can see where, you know, some of the areas of the hair is a little closer than others. So if you have a certain desired shape, you know, for your beard, you want to make sure that you're giving that shape without really cutting into certain areas that client wants to have that shape of the beard to be there. So certain areas in his hair, you know, I'm not gonna trim. You know, I may trim it lightly, but, you know, I'm not really gonna go into the hair unless that's what the outcome after the shampoo and the blowing and the drying of the hair, if that's what they want done on their hair. Like I said, you want to be real light with it, as well as making sure that you're combing the hair in the direction that it grows in. And this is what I would like to call just a light pruning, because he already has the shape that we want. And this tip is for my barbers, you know, and trimming the beard. Cape color is very important, especially depending on the color of the client's hair. These are things that you want to look at. And a lot of times what I will do, especially with the different type of lights that I use, I'm gonna make sure that the light is shining directly into the face, and I'm gonna turn my client actually in the chair facing towards the mirror. So I'm making sure that your mirror is straight and clean at all times. You wanna make sure that you're doing that. So when I'm trimming my client's hair, I'm not really gonna trim too much down here in the bottom because I have a dark cape on right now. So my finishing techniques, what I will actually do is I'll switch the color from the Barber Strong black pinstripe to the white Barber Strong cape with the pinstripes. So like I said, shout out to Barber Strong. If you want your Barber Strong gear, go to barberindemand.com. I will have posted the Barber In Demand promo code that you can use at barberstrong.com. You get 10% off. So if you notice here, what I'm doing is actually making sure that I'm guiding, you know, my shears and making sure that every direction that I'm cutting with is only gonna cut in that direction. So I use my thumb. You wanna make sure that you're not pressing in too hard because you don't want your skin to actually be, if you take a look like very closely, you can see where my thumb is actually, the skin of my thumb is actually pressed into the shear. You wanna make sure that it is at the back heel of the blade to make sure that you're guiding that shear properly. and it's just a light trim. Just a light trim. A lot of guys, you'll have clients that'll come and they'll sit in the chair and they say, man, don't trim anything off of my beard. If a client is using products that aren't good for the skin and aren't good for the hair, what will happen is over time, those hairs will split. And you'll always have split ends anyway. It's kind of hard to avoid that. Every once in a while, you will develop a split end. And to keep those things tame, you want to make sure that you are actually trimming the edges off of, where the beard is. So if you come in here and you look, you can really see at a certain angle the hairs that are, kind of hanging out of the natural, thickness of that hair. And you can see in that area where you actually would need to trim at if that hair doesn't need growth in that area. So we're gonna come right back here and you'll be able to see, we're gonna catch that angle from here and you'll be able to see those hairs that I'm trimming off in that process, along with my guided thumb. So you'll see that right here and you'll see a couple of those hairs come off. Not a lot, because like I said, I'm only pruning. I'm only doing it, pruning on this beard right now. So I'm only pruning these hairs. So I'm not really looking to cut into the meat of the beard. So for my people at home, you can do this also. You want to make sure that you have good lighting, when you're doing a light trim in between cuts. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with doing this on yourself, on your own beard, just make sure that you find a good barber that's going to be able to do that good consultation that you would need to make sure that your beard is growing the way that you need it to, okay? And we're gonna come and do the same thing to the other side. So with my guided thumb on my shear and making sure that all fingers are out of the way, because you will cut yourself if you're not paying attention and being careful. And believe me, barbers, you do not have to fly through this. Take your time, because it took practice for me to learn how to do this as well. Being a barber is not supposed to be a speed race. I'm not knocking any barber that, can get a haircut done in 15, 20 minutes and it looks well and the client is happy. If that's working for you, good. But if you're learning and really trying to step your game up and go to that next level, take your time. Make sure that you're giving your client the proper service that they need and making sure that, that you're leveling up from week to week, So this part right here, you definitely want to make sure that your client is comfortable. Now for my people that will be doing this at home, it's a lot easier in the shower. One thing that I will say is to make sure that you're not using the same temperature of water on your face and your hair and your beard as what you would use on your body if you're gonna do it in the shower. As well as in this, like if you're at the sink, if you're gonna wash your beard or whatever in the mirror at your sink, you wanna make sure that that water isn't boiling hot or as hot as what you would normally use it, because a lot of times the temperature of the water is the reason why your beard won't grow, because you're actually killing all of the nutrients in which is in the shampoo. You're more or less, you're cooking it. You're cooking the nutrients that's in the shampoo as well as, the beard wash. So you wanna make sure that that water is not too hot. If you're in the shop and you wanna test the temperature of the water before you put it on the head as well as the beard, you can feel it on your hand, but also, like I said, you wanna come here and check it on the wrist. Check it on the wrist and make sure that that temperature isn't too warm. Fellas, shaving your hair at home. If you're shaving your head at home, you want to make sure that you're not putting too much pressure on the scalp. So today we're going to use the Barber In Demand shampoo on his scalp. You want to make sure that you are cleaning the hair and the scalp that you're gonna shave off later. You wanna make sure that that hair is clean. A lot of times people are getting ingrown hairs and irritation on your scalp just because the scalp and the hair isn't clean. So, Barber In Demand shampoo. So you just wanna use the tips of your fingers to stimulate that. Because you're gonna come back with your Barber In Demand sugar scrub. You wanna make sure that your client, barbers, you wanna make sure that your client is comfortable at all times. Come in here. I'm only gonna get about a quarter size in my hand. Take this and rub this in your hand. This right here is the Barber In Demand sugar scrub. And what this is gonna prevent and also prep your hair for, preparation is making sure that all of the hair is standing erect, it's clean. Any type of debris or dandruff that may be on the scalp, that sugar scrub is gonna make sure that it's coming off. Clients, what will happen a lot of times when you're, especially if you're just starting on shampooing and, actually washing of the face, your clients will tend to hold their head up while you're shampooing their head. You wanna make sure that that client's their neck is relaxed the whole time that they're at the bowl. And you wanna make sure that you're supporting their head, as you're shampooing them. So if you need to shampoo the head, you wanna make sure that you lift your client's head, support their neck, and then you can get back there with the sugar scrub. In this area of the back of the neck is where I see a lot of keloiditis develop. And a lot of times what you'll get clients in and what they'll say is, I went to a barber and, their clippers were dirty, or, I got the ingrown hairs. This sugar scrub, I guarantee you, I've been using this product for over a year now, and it will clear as well as prevent the keloiditis. And you want to take that and you want to rub it in real, ever so lightly on the back of the neck or any area where that client is receiving any type of irritation. And even if they're not, like I said, it's good preparation for a shave. Okay, gonna allow that to sit. Check the temperature of the water, because what we're about to do now is we're actually gonna moisturize the beard here with our water at the bowl, which is the reason why I use the Barber Strong water resistant capes. I always dress and outfit my client, with the water resistant cape. And just to prove to you that the cape is water resistant, I'm gonna show you right here. You can see as that water just rolls right off. And this is gonna make sure that my client is not gonna get wet the whole time they're getting their service done. So you can see that as it rolls off, it's just beading right off. You don't have to worry about your client getting wet, okay? So I'll check my temperature, and I'm just gonna come in real quick, boom, just like that. We're gonna do it one more time, let me show y'all. Boom, just like that. So I'm coming from around the ear to the middle of the chin and back out. So when I come back with my Barber In Demand beard wash, take a little bit. We're gonna get in there and lather it up real nice, just like that. You want to make sure that that's clean, real clean, just like that. Massage that in real nice, and then I'm going to come back with my scalp stimulator. If you notice the small bristles in here, you'll come into that beard and you'll take that and apply a little bit of pressure. And you're gonna stimulate the skin. Just like that. A lot of times when you have clients that are getting the the ingrown hairs is because they're not really getting in, you know, to that lower dermis when they are stimulating the skin with the shampoo. So you don't want to just, you know, rake across the beard, because what you'll cause is actually damage to the hair as well as the root. So, you know, you just want to pick a little area and, you know, 2 or 3 back and forth motion. Very light pressure. I'm not using my forearm. Everything is finesse in the wrist. You know, that's what, you know, barbering is really about, is making sure that you're not overworking yourself and you're allowing the tool to work for itself. That's the importance and the difference between, you know, charging, you know, $10 to $15 for a beard trim, whereas a service like this, I charge from $35 to $50 for this service. All right. As those sit, we're not gonna rinse that out yet. I'm gonna come back a little bit more of my facial wash, and I'm gonna come into the face with that facial wash and clean the skin. The reason why I do this is because a lot of times I will have a lot of clients that will have really good hair, but their skin, you know, wasn't really where it needed to be for me to be able to take pictures. You know, so in order to get that red carpet look, you know, you gotta groom and, you know, take care of your client all the way around. So you just wanna be using the tips of your fingers to massage that into the face. And we're gonna come back, wash our hands. We're gonna come back with our facial sugar scrub. Small amount, massage it into your hands, and you're gonna use that on the face as such. So the same way that this product is good preparation for a shave, it's also good for the face to prevent ingrown hairs in the cheek areas as well as in that beard line, but also preventing pimples, whiteheads, blackheads. So this product is really good for, you know, neck to the top of the crown use. I have a lot of guys that will get irritation in that beard line, in that under beard line area. So wherever you're having issues, you're gonna come in and use your sugar scrub at. And once again, you wanna make sure that your client is dressed properly so you're not, you know, ruining their clothes with the products that you use to service them with. I get a lot of barbers to message me and say, you know, I want to charge more for my services. You know, I want to step my game up. Well, this is how you step your game up. This is how you do the things that the barber, you know, on the other side of town won't do. This is how you upcharge and provide a better service for your client, and making sure that you're taking care of them properly and you're giving them that look. So when they come in and they ask for a haircut, they don't say stuff like, hey man, I got a wedding this weekend, I need to be extra tight. You want to make sure that you're killing that haircut and the grooming service and being professional at all times. So every time you come in on a consistent basis, that client is leaving happy. Almost done, Mike. You hear me? Coming in with our hot towel right here. So in this area, when you're using a hot towel, typically when that hot towel is coming out of the hot towel machine, it's anywhere from 150 degrees to about 200 degrees. So you want to make sure that that towel isn't too hot for the client's face. So typically what I say, if you can hold that towel to your wrist and it not cause, too much strain, or pain for your wrist, it's okay for the client's face. And you want to also let your client know that, I'm getting ready to put a hot towel on your face. You're going to test test the under neck, and you're going to come in and apply your towel. When you're applying your towel, you want to make sure that you're not closing the air passageways. So when I put my towel on, I'm going to come here first to make sure that that client can breathe. Okay? And I'm kind of stretching that area out, not applying too much pressure, but allowing and opening up that air passageway for that client to be able to breathe. And you come in and you let the hot towel work for itself. You're going to use that steam to open up the pores of the hair, okay? And while I'm allowing that to work, I'll come back in, moderate temperature, and I'm gonna rinse the scalp off. And making sure that you're getting any residue. So now, after having that up there for about 2 or 3 minutes, you can really see how clean that hair is, as well as the scalp. So if you're taking off a little bit of dry skin and, making sure that, the scalp is clean from any type of oil or oil sheen or anything that they would be using at home. So what I want to say to barbers that don't shampoo or, really go through the extra measures of making sure that that service is going properly, you think about all of the things that are still on the client's scalp as you're shaving. So, you can kind of equate some of those things to the reason why that client may be getting ingrown hairs or anything like that will be in the aftermath of, after getting a service from you. So you want to make sure that you're going through all of the steps and taking your time and grooming your client properly. Barber In Demand, beard oil. Just gonna apply 2.5 drops for the hair. Rub it in. Apply it to the beard. I use 2.5 because of how much hair my client has. You want to make sure that you're massaging that in real good. Just like that. And come back with your beard comb. And in that angle, you want to make sure that those teeth are actually touching the face, in that underbeard. So every little area, you know what I mean? You don't have to come in and just pull it all straight down because the beard, the hair is still a bit wet. So you have to really take your time and go through that, okay? You can see how clean the hair is. There's no debris in the hair, which is why I use the white towels on the face, so you can really see and pay attention to what's coming out of the hair. You don't see a lot of, the excess beard, the hair coming out. You don't see a lot of that. And that's one of the reasons and purpose of why I do the beard wash for my clients. Because a lot of times what's happening is you get home or, you get done with your trimming. If you skip some of these steps, and the beard is all out of shape once you pick it out. So, just like how we did the trim earlier, you can see that same shape is still there, for my client, and everything is still in shape. So after I get done with this, I'm actually gonna lean my client back. Sanitation is not only professional, but also safe for your client. You want to make sure that your client's head is supported properly. I'm going to use the low heat setting because this air is going to be going on to the face. And the thing that you want to do is you want to dry the beard. You just want to dry it. I know a lot of times the guys, like to go for, more of a blown out look on the beard. Everybody doesn't like that, so like I said, you just want to dry the beard. You don't want to over dry it because continuously blowing out the beard or applying too much pressure to your client's hair and skin will actually damage that hair over time. And for that underbeard, you can kind of part that hair and just come in there and get that underbeard. And you want to be mindful of your temperature to make sure that you're not causing any discomfort to your client. And come in and part that beard and get the under hair, get the underbeard line. Okay? Even for my guys at home, you want to take your time. You want to take your time for this in styling your beard. Okay? And after you do this, after you can feel that the hair is dry, and you can come back with a light layer of, of your beard oil and reapply just a little bit. It doesn't take much. So I'm only going to use about a half a drop. Okay? It's 4 or 5 drops, and I come in real light with it and just apply that like that. Okay? And you can really, at that point, kind of shape the beard how you want to. Okay? So like I said, you want to make sure that you're not over drying. And this is another tip that I use for my clients that are trying to get lighter areas in your beard to fill in. You got the Barber In Demand brush here. You want to take that and you want to use that around your line to stimulate more of that growth in those areas where you may need those areas to fill in at. A lot of times the beard won't fill in because there's not enough stimulation. Or either there just isn't a actual hair, it isn't a root there yet for any hair to grow. But you have to be patient and also be appreciative of the hair that you do have that grows on your face. Okay? Coming in with the hot towel. And while that's on the head, just like to come over, make sure that my blade is prepped properly. This right here is the Barber In Demand shave razor. It's real small, real comfortable in the hand. It works really well for me. Shape of my hand. Got 2 fingers here for control. You still have your regular, neck tang. I like to use the exposed blade when I'm shaving. Okay. So I got that prep ready. Come back. I'm gonna remove this. Don't catch this part. All right, now as that hair is still damp, I'm gonna come in with a couple drops of our product. We're gonna take and rub that in real nice right there. Going with the grain. And I'm gonna show y'all how to use this for a shave. You wanna make sure that you're getting a good layer of the Barber In Demand shave oil in there, okay? Because this is what's gonna moisturize that hair and allow that to come off. So if I'm dealing with a person that I'm cutting for the first time, I always shave with the grain, especially if they don't shave on their own or shave at home while it's still warm, okay? And then you're gonna see how easy the hair comes off. And if you look here, you're gonna see that I have enough moisture where that blade is moving real smooth. And that oil is just grabbing that hair. You can see as it comes down. You want to make sure that your client is prepped properly, so when you're shaving them, as you need to catch any excess oil or anything like that, you can, okay? And you can see how I'm just following the skin, the grain of the hair, okay? And I'm gonna do one side like this. You know, this is what I would suggest for my everyday, my everyday shaver. You know, if you're, if you're gonna be shaving at home, this is what I suggest for you. This would be what I suggest for you in preparation to do. And because my client does shave every day at home, this really makes it easy. I'm just gonna take and rub that in. Take this part out. Let me take this part out. And like I said, you can see how easily that hair is coming off. I don't have any water, any type of gel or soap here with this. The way that I formulate my hair and beard oil is thick enough to moisturize the scalp, as well as thick enough for the hair to be soft, okay? And as I'm shaving with my oil, I'm just gonna kind of follow that the trail of oil, okay? And it just comes right off. So hair oil is good for conditioning the hair, as well as for my guys that like to shave. I'm just coming back to do my last little cleanup on my man. Shaved it. And I'm just cleaning up where, where we already came in. And pruned the beard earlier, okay? And see, in this part right here, you can really get a good look for how you want that beard to look against that white cape, or whatever color that you need to have that good contrast for your client. I'm gonna let them up just a little bit so I can get a little bit more of that, that eye view. When I'm shaping up my client, I like to stand back from the cut a little bit so I can really see what needs to be cut. If you come right here, you can see just a little part up under the neck. We come out here, shoot from this angle. You can see right here and this side, right here, you can see that little piece there that's showing in contrast to that white cape. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you need to, it's okay to hold that cape up on one side just so you can see through the other side what needs to be trimmed and what doesn't, okay? So, you know, even if you're not a barber and you're gonna, you know, shape and groom your own beard and use our products, the Barber Strong capes are super dope. They're great price, waterproof. You can see I use them for my clients in the shop, as well as they can be used at home. And this is the cape that I use all the time, the Barber Strong brand. It's barberstrong.com. And I'll also be cited at the bottom of this video. So if you look down and you look in the description, you'll see that the Barber Strong site will be posted there, as well as the promo code that gets you 10%. So I really appreciate y'all taking the time to watch the video today. I hope you learned something. Make sure you also leave a comment. I can post, you know, better videos if I know what it is that y'all like and what you're trying to see when you're looking at my videos. Hey man, I appreciate y'all watching today. My name is ST Wagstaff, also known as Barber In Demand 1 on Instagram, or you can find me on Facebook, ST Wagstaff, located in Durham, North Carolina, 105 West Parrish Street. Thank y'all for watching, man.